So, Bill, remember when we were in Eastern Oregon doing that Ghost Town series, and we went to those dredge. There was those dredging spoils. That rock reminds me of the dredging spoils we had on that Ghost Town series, that we were back in Sumter, Oregon, and we'd done this trip for like 8 days, and we were almost ready to kill each other by the end of this thing. Started in Shaniko, ended up in Eastern Oregon, and you know what we should do? Let's just show them the story. Watch.
They stand in mute testimony to pioneer courage, hardship, and sometimes broken dreams. It's almost as if the weathered boards of empty buildings are too stubborn to admit they've been abandoned. And in your mind's eye, it's not too hard to see the buckboards on the streets or hear the music from the old dance hall. We know it wasn't really that romantic back in the days of the early settlers. You worked hard and got little for it. But as Jerry Myers remembers, life was simpler. His kinfolk homesteaded near Sumter in the Blue Mountains of Eastern Oregon way back in 1878. And he thinks simplicity is the magnet that attracts visitors to these parts.
They're looking for the atmosphere. You know, they read the history is a real big thing now. And people come in here and kind of feel it, touch it, see it. Because in those days, we worked hard for what we had, and we enjoyed what we had to the ultimate. We've just kind of gotten away from that, and I think people are really looking to get back to that. They'd like to get a little bit closer to things.
Originally, though, it was gold fever, timber, wool, and the railroad that brought dreamers to live in these isolated valleys and hillsides. Looking at what's left of some of these towns, this was born. You can hardly believe that at one time several thousand people lived here. Saloons, hotels, stores, and homes covered the hillside just below the old mines. The old-timers say the pioneers found what they were looking for. Times were good, at least for a while. But eventually the gold was too costly to mine. The railroads pulled up and relocated, and there was no way to ship the timber or the wool. The glitter in places like granite was beginning to fade. Now it's solitude that attracts residents. Tony Thompson runs the Granite General Store.
But you have to be hardy. You have to be willing to work hard. You pay a price for living up here. It's hard economically. It's hard physically. I mean, just keeping your house in shape, going through the winters we go through. Just all those things, you know, you work at it. You don't just come up here and kick back and, oh, well, no problem, I'll just take it easy. That doesn't happen.
When the railroad pulled out of Shaniko, the townsfolk walked away, leaving the city to the tumbleweeds and the sun and the wind. The outside world kept changing. Shaniko just waited, slowly becoming a museum of our past, its legacy as a ghost town starting to take shape.
Filled with wool. They stacked wool in here from, I guess they come clear from the California border.
Now, bad times and broken dreams. The new pioneers have found them and are opening them back up for all of us.